Yes, you should travel, but don't just travel for women. And then the type of women the guys are traveling for, is you a grown man, you can do what you want to do. But you see these guys, they getting the hookers, the bottom feeders in these countries, and they put them all on YouTube and Facebook. Look what I got. A black woman or a Western woman could never do this, but you messing with a goddamn whore. That's
Right,
my point.
right. I agree with that because there's a lot of promotions that's going out there. I don't have anything with any issue with the passport, bro, except for the fact that I see that them constantly seem to be promoting sex tourism.
Hi guys. So I had made a video response to Afro think tank's video, but a lot of people I respect, reach out to me and they're like, you know what, the video you made is not really fair to Afro, who is a decent person. So I listened to them and I took down the video. But I still believe that the warning he is giving us is something we need to listen to. And he's not the only person, giving us this warning. Other people are too. He is basically telling us that the passport bros are heading to Africa.
So the new passport bros that decide that Brazil's no longer the spot, it's probably still the spot, but you have the new flavor of the month, right? Dominican Republic is way too hot, right? The Philippines is too far for a lot of them. Thailand is too played out, it's too old, and Africa's like the new place.
He actually said that Africa was the flavor of the month. And it became the flavor of the month, not because they watch TV and they liked what they see and they want to go there. It's because everywhere else they went, they have made the place unattractive to travel to. Right, Thailand is not really an attractive place to go to anymore. Neither is Philippines, neither is Colombia. In fact, Colombia probably had already been. Not a really attractive place to travel to long time ago. And so now they're looking for somewhere, that they can take their disgraceful acts to. And they are looking at, a lot of videos coming out of Africa, deceptive videos coming out of Africa. And now they think, they need to take their disgraceful act to Africa. And I'm not going to call them degenerates because I think degenerate is not a good term to use. But yes, so they are going to take their disgraceful acts to Africa. And, we have seen them, in other countries. I mean, Africa is not a country, of course, in other nations, in other continents, right? We see how they behave around women in other parts of the world. And they are not going to behave any different in Africa. They are going to be the disgraceful people that they are. They are going to, to behave disgracefully among African people. It's not going to change just because, they are in Africa. And yeah, and like I said, Afro is not the only one saying that, the passport pros have destroyed. I don't want to use the word destroyed. No country has been destroyed by passport pros, but they have made the country unattractive, right? To travel to go to other passport routes, and they have done that to Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, Dominican Republic, and even to some extent Brazil, because these people go there, they act in disgraceful ways. And the women start to act in disgraceful ways too. And the women are not any longer the traditional women that they once were. And, they are turning into, vulgar people. I was listening to Travel Time with Paul's last live.
Because what happens when they go over there, they teach these people the worst parts of our culture. And then those people end up giving it back. For instance, whoever just came on, please mute yourself. I hear scratching. Thanks. You got Thai women out there dropping the N-bomb. You got Thai women out there acting like what they see on TikTok, and there are no traditional women anymore.
Whose fault is that for the N-bomb? Because I see a
lot. Hold on, brother. When you were speaking, I was quiet, right?
You're right. Respectfully, I agree with that.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Okay. So So to answer your question real quick, it's actually a great question. Who taught them that? The brothers that went over there taught them that.
And one of the panels said the black men, the passport bros, are teaching the Thai women, to be vulgar. And these people and these women, these men, basically are teaching their disgraceful behavior to the women, and then the women start to act disgracefully. Then the passport bros will turn around and say, "Oh, the women are not traditional any longer, so we need to pack up and move somewhere else." And sometimes they even blame American women. They're like, no, because right now there are no traditional women anywhere else because of the social media. They have access to American women. They see how the American women behave and they imitate them. I'm like, no, it's not because of that. It is because they see how you behave. I mean, you are in close proximity to them than the American women living, thousands of miles away. You are there in flesh and body, and they imitate you. I mean, why would they go to the internet and try to find, how American women living thousands of miles behave when they could, imitate you when you are right next to them, and they see how disgracefully you behave and they imitate you. Of course, we shouldn't be surprised that, they are blaming American women. These men I mean, what made them passport bro to start with is because they refuse to take accountability. When they fail to achieve something, they always blame it on the American women. When they cannot, find dates in America, they do not, look inside. They do not do introspection. Instead, they blame it on the women. And that is what led to them being passport, right? Their refusal to take accountability, their tendency to always blame the women, their tendency to always blame the American women. So we should not be surprised that they are blaming American women for the disgraceful way that foreign women are behaving. And and those kind of people, now they are taking their disgraceful behavior to Africa. They are going to be disgraceful in Africa. And Afro says that African women are traditional.
Right. And the thing is, Africa is a different beast when it comes to the women, because in Africa, the women culturally hold themselves to a certain esteem.
So if a passport bro was going there to Africa for sex, they will be disappointed. But I have to disagree there, because Africans are poor, right? So I think you could turn a lot of African nations into sex tourism spot. Tradition can do so much, can go so far. I mean, I am almost sure that, Philippines, Thailand, and all other countries now associated with sex tourism were not like this before. They probably they still do, traditional views. Their culture is, traditional. But they are poor countries, and poor countries, it's easy to turn poor countries into sex tourist destination. It happened in Thailand, it happened in Philippines, it happened in Dominican Republic and everywhere else. And in Africa, I don't think tradition cannot overcome hunger, right? Where tradition cannot overcome poverty. I mean, you are going to engage in sex work to feed yourself, to feed your family, to clothe yourself, to clothe your family. So no, I don't think there is strong tradition anywhere else that would withstand sex tourism when there is poverty. Yeah, of course, dictatorships or autocratic countries in the Middle East, yes, they might be able to do it, but not in Africa. We don't, I mean, even a dictatorships in Africa cannot stop sex tourism. Gambia was and still is a dictatorship. The guy they just overthrew, he's a dictator, and he tried to ban sex tourists from coming to his country, and he couldn't. He tried to ban, all those white women, white grandmas going to Gambia to exploit Gambian women, I'm sorry, Gambian men, and he couldn't do it because Gambian men, I mean, they were actually on Twitter saying that it's not fair for them. They need the women. They need the women to, to feed themselves, to feed their families. So yeah, poverty, tradition cannot overcome poverty. I don't think tradition would stop an Africa from turning into a success spot. But what we can do is warn Africans, make sure that we keep our eyes on these passport pests, make sure that we are very critical of what they do. It's not just him, just Afro saying that the passport pros are pests, the passport pros are disgraceful people. It is the passport pros, people like Powell saying that.
Now, why you think we got OnlyFans? I mean, if we didn't have so many simps and a lot of guys paying these women, we wouldn't have this sexy red culture. My booty hole brown and my vajayjay pink. And then you got these dudes supporting women like that. Now that they can't get these, they can no longer get these type of women in so-called matrix. They going to Thailand and these other places, and they getting the same type of women that same degenerate low class women over here that they couldn't get. And I'm gonna
Well,
say
to
something else
answer,
before you speak again.
sure.
Now you got I'm still on topic. Now you got these guys talking about Pookies and Ray Rays. If you going after high quality women in these countries, so-called traditional women from a good background, why would you be worried about a Pookie and Ray Ray? Them type of women wouldn't be attracted to Pookies and Ray Rays. You know why? Because they know they subconsciously these guys want the IG model. They want the video vixen. But since the video vixen and the so-called IG type women done got expensive here, they going to Colombia and the DR and get them at a cheaper price now. Now the Pookies and Ray Rays are starting to go to these places too and overpaying for them, and now they bitching.
A lot of the passport pros are uh, disgraceful people, behaving in disgraceful ways abroad. In fact, they probably, Powell said that, they would have liked to behave like that here in America, but they don't have the money. So their money is allowing them to behave disgracefully in, foreign lands, which is in fact makes it even more dangerous, because when you have the money you could get away with a lot of stuff, right? And yeah, but one other thing, Afro said, however passport bros treat black American women here in America is the way they will treat African women in Africa, because African women are black, and if a passport bros hates black women here in America, he's going to hate black women in Africa. And so there is no reason for African women to believe that when passport bros who are traveling around the world demonizing black American women will somehow be nice to African women, because like I said, like I have said so many times, the thing passport bros hate in the black American woman is not her Americanness. If it was her Americanness, they would have hated other women too. What they hate in the black American woman is her blackness. And the blackness of black American women is the same blackness that exists in the black African women. And they will hate you just the same way they hate black American women. So we should be aware of that when we deal with them. We should be dealing with them with the knowledge that they will turn on us one day too. And they are turning, on black African women. I mean, we see them when they break up with them, the way they treat them is ridiculous. So yeah. So anyways, Afro is giving us a warning, and we should heed the warning. Thank you. Bye bye.